Okay, friends, welcome to Nadim's Wellness channel. Today, I wanted to invite my close friend Krishna Sagar Rao. He's a chief spokesperson for BJP and he's a strategist and he's also global coach in for many industries. Today, I wanted to invite. Welcome to my program, Krishna
Thank
Bhai.
you, Naveen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So today we just wanted to interact like the corona, which we never thought of, suddenly it has come up and the whole world has gone ups and downs. So, as a strategist, as a political leader, so I just wanted to understand different areas we had to focus. So, as in sports, we never think of something, suddenly the changes happens and quickly we had to change the strategies to win the situations. So similarly, the whole world now has to change the strategies to win against this thing. So I just wanted to understand from your point of view. So can you just explain us?
Nadeem, this is a very relevant discussion we are having. Though it's a very casual discussion we are having today,
Yeah,
I think it will benefit a lot of people if they were to watch it.
right,
And I also wish you and your channel a lot of growth. Now, Nadeem, we all feel as individuals that we have control over life and we are doing everything to ensure that everything goes as we plan. But these kind of global scenarios actually bring us back to a realization that everything we plan might not go as we plan. And they can be sudden and very jerky changes in our life, sometimes to a level of shock and awe. And then we are stuck nowhere, in the middle of nowhere. And that is when it is required that one has a vision to see past the obstacle and re-engineer their path towards a new destination or a revised goals or towards a new location where they want to travel to, either from the business front or the personal front, or as you said, even goals which are related to sports or any other area. And I also believe that this is a big lesson to the entire humanity, the species which believes that it is on the top of the food chain.
right,
And for a while, we all thought it is true that we are the most superior species in the world and we are on the top of the food chain, and every other species is subservient to us. However, today we realize that an invisible, almost invisible microbe is challenging the entire humanity, has put brakes to our speed, has stalled the entire mass of humanity and rendered us to our homes, and has caused immense pain and death, insurmountable pain and death. So, this is a lesson to the species which thought that it has control over everything. And another big lesson which we need to carry also at the individual level and at the species level is that what have we been investing? What have we been investing in? As nations, we have been investing primarily in defending our nations territorially, on seas, on borders, land, and air, and atomic bombs, nuclear energy. But today, we are so helpless that we don't have either treatment or a vaccine for a microbe which is challenging us from the last 7 months. And millions of people are infected, and close to million people are about to die. So this is a dire situation. And certainly it is the time, as you rightly said, that we stop and take stock of where we are investing our time, energies, and resources. When it comes to individuals, Nadi, I believe we also have to look at how we are talking about the nation. Where have I been investing my resources in my life? Have I been investing into my health? Have I been investing into having to build immunity from disease? Have I been using it just to make money or rotate my capital? Or have I been investing into my relationships? Have I been giving time to my children, my spouse, my friends? my social network? Or have I been an isolated animal running towards making few bucks and trying to show off that I'm ahead of others? So when you look at a microcosm of an individual or a nation or a species in these three layers, I think we have all been caught red-handed that we haven't been doing the right things in so many years of our
Right,
life.
right. It's a very good lesson for all the humanity. So, as you rightly said, we should actually, as Indians, we have so much of science in Ayurveda, naturopathy, yoga. So, we have to get that and popularize it to the whole world. So, the whole world can become more healthy, improve their immune system to fight with diseases. So, number two, economically, now what are the challenges we are going to face? A lot of people are losing their jobs in India and abroad, and some people are not able to quickly change their profession, so they are stuck to some industries. So, can you just uh, share some of your thoughts on this?
Yes, it is. As I said, it's a shock and awe. A lot of people who have invested into businesses are now seeing that their businesses are stuck. Even after the lockdown is gone, even after the economy is open, they are seeing that their businesses haven't come back to normal or pre-COVID-19 time. So it is quite unsettling for a lot of people who are in business. And it is not about one or two industries. It is cut across all sectors now. The pain is all over the place, except for minute, I mean, essentials,
Yeah,
kirana stores or
yeah,
general stores. Maybe they are having, almost undisturbed kind of a business. But now that is one part. That is, there is pain in investors, there is pain in promoters of smaller, medium scale, and large businesses. And then there is also pain for professionals, except for doctors and medical and paramedical professionals who are engaged. The rest of all are actually sitting home. And some of the IT, very small portion of IT and ITES are able to manage from home, but the rest of the entire population in both agriculture, to some extent, the labor connected to the agriculture, the farmers are able to pursue their occupation. But when it comes to manufacturing, trade, and when it comes to industry, there is massive pain in terms of both professionals and business getting affected and impacted negatively. So that is the problem area. Now you asked me about what is the solution. Now the solution for professionals is you have to wait it out. Now all of us cannot change our professions overnight.
correct.
But what we can do is, for instance, if I have been on boards interacting physically and advising medium and large scale businesses, what now I'm doing is I'm actually writing because I'm trying to go for a parallel track because the time now is not physical, not much of physical contact. I'm doing what I do digitally. Not everybody might be able to do it, but at the same time, I have expanded my track to start writing blogs and start writing the books which were due for a long time, which I didn't get time to write. So now I'm trying to commercialize a different instrument, which is the book or which is a video, kind of a module, and see to it that I generate revenues from there. And also, if there is a possibility of doing your job through digital format, try doing it. I also seen in your own area, a lot of people are doing digital coaching
Yes,
in sports and in physical
fitness.
fitness, in yoga. They're continuing by using a digital format.
Right.
It might not be the same revenue which they had before, but they're at least not stuck. So I
Right.
think that this is the time to actually ideate. What can I do in my profession differently?
See,
And see if they can find different avenues to do this thing. And when it comes to business, it is very hard to say that you have to start looking towards somewhere else because there is nowhere else you can look at this point of time. Everything is now in a question mark phase, at least for the next 6 months. So unless you have deep pockets and a cash-rich scenario, and you have the ability to wait on for the next 6 months, you are certainly in a troubled spot. So we have to now look at how to reduce pain instead of completely getting out of pain. This is for the business investors. So to reduce pain, cut costs, cut your overheads, and come down to bare minimum, and wait for things to open up again, wait for the demand to come back. So there is so much of contraction in business that if you don't cut your costs, if you don't trim and right size your organization as quickly as possible, and you think I'll do 2 months after, then your pocket size has reduced. So you have to look at taking, these are extraordinary times. So extraordinary times demand for extraordinary measures.
Yeah, as you rightly said, sometimes it becomes opportunity also. So people has to look further. Like as you said, online training. So now there are so many inquiries are coming from other countries to train them online, like yoga or fitness. So there is an opportunity because a lot of people they are opened a gyms by investing so many crores of rupees, and they are not able to open. So like that, there are opportunities, and like Jack Ma said, the challenges is there 10,000 years back. Today there is challenges, and 10,000 years afterwards also there is going to be challenges. So we have to quickly change our strategies to overcome these challenges. So any other tips you want to give to the people to change their skills, or because some of the industries like tourism industry is not doing well. So some of the tips you wanted to give to the people.
See, I'll give Nadeem, these are not quick fix solutions. These are
Yes.
not, there is no
Yeah.
band-aid.
Yeah.
There is no band-aid solution. But
Hmm.
I'll give you three major measures, which are actually countermeasures for this kind of an emergency or an extraordinary scenario we are in. The first and the foremost is to have focus on your emotional and mental and physical health. So these three form one unison
Yeah.
of a alert and a healthy human being, without which you'll not be able to fight adversity.
Correct.
This is a complex time.
Yeah.
This is a time which tests your patience, your resources, your ideation, your survival, your financial survival, your relationship survival, your physical survival, mental and emotional survival. And you're also seeing that there are increasing number of suicides, not just in Bollywood, but also in other professional areas which are not being reported. There is a huge strain on relationships because there is a lot of people are staying home, and there is a lot of you know uh, confusion and a lot of communication conflict which are happening because everybody is now enclosed in one place,
Someplace.
and they are getting into communication issues.
Yes.
So for that reason, the first measure is to have a wholesome control on your survival capability. And that I call physical, emotional, and mental health focus. So in your day, if you want to really survive this period, which is going to be either 6 months is already over, so it can be another 6 months or even a year before
Right.
we see anything. I don't believe in this all vaccine stories which are coming out. It takes a long time than a month or two. So we need to be prepared for a longer time. I mean, you got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yes.
So that is the first measure. The second one is now I can go on and expand physical, emotional, and mental, but I think it's very self
Yeah.
explanatory. If that could have been possibly done, the first measure, we wouldn't have seen Sushant Rajput dying like that.
Right.
Uh, and there are a couple of others who are prominent names who died recently by forceful suicides. Now, coming to the second is resource management. Now, to the heart of the matter in these testing times is that every penny counts. Now, focusing on how do you audit your cash and your asset value, and ensure that you divide it by another 12 months and see can you survive without having to work for the next 12 months. So what is the cost of your life, your family's life, and then what is your resources which are available. Now when you're doing that, if you're falling short, you can plan ahead, whether it is credit, whether it's hunting for debt, or whether it is raising your own resources or converting your resources or not spending for things which are not required. So all this comes in only when you plan. So if you're not planning, you're planning to fail.
Correct.
So you have to plan your resources. You have to ensure that you are budgeted for the next 6 months to 12 months and see that how is it possible if I'm working 50% and how is it possible if I'm not working at all and how would I live? What is the livelihood plan? All this has to be done. Third is what I feel very critical to survival and thrive, not just survive, is to look for alternate avenues. So the alternate avenues lies in what kind of profession you are in. So I cannot guide you on
Correct.
alternate
Yeah. Yeah.
avenues.
Yeah.
So for instance, Sonu Nigam, I'll take his example. Sonu Nigam now is in Dubai and he is just making videos. He's expressing himself on what's happening in Bollywood, and they're all trying to kind of be a rebel, be rebels with cause. That's all right, but it's not going to give you revenue. Now, what probably Sonu? I'm just giving a
Example.
peripheral advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What probably Sonu should be doing is to look for alternate avenues for revenue,
Right.
or alternate avenue, if not for revenue, for continuity of his skill. So even if you're not required to have money, to make money in this 6 months, 1 year, and if you have enough resources, it doesn't mean that you sit idle. You have to find avenues where you can use your skills, continue your skills, keep honing your skills, keep updating your skills, and then use them so that when the time comes when all this thing goes away, you're still ready and you're sharp and you're alert and you are employable once again if you're a professional. Or if you're in business, you are in a shape to restart your enterprise. So this is what I call it as alternate avenue. So don't waste your time on
Sharpen.
negative
Yeah.
energies.
Sharpen your saw.
Sharpen your
Sharpen.
saw.
Yeah.
You're right. But what I'm also saying, don't focus on negative
Negative.
areas.
Yeah.
Don't utilize your resources in the negative front,
Correct. Yeah.
and don't engage in negativity.
Yes.
Instead, focus your energies on positive
Positive.
opportunities. For instance, Sonu Nigam can do um, he can do online concerts.
Yes. Yeah.
He can start a Facebook Live and start singing, and I think millions of people would want to watch him. And then he can probably charge them. He can do OTT in a kind of album, and then charge per seat. You can do anything. I mean, people who have skill can do it instead of doing something which
Lot
is
of
not going to give you
yeah, lot of
any
chefs
yields.
I'm seeing. Uh,
Hmm.
they were trying to show videos on how to cook things, and somebody is helping people who's hungry. So a lot of people, they are using their energy
The
either in terms
positive.
positive way. There are a lot of people using their energy in a negative way. As you rightly said, sharpen your saw and take care of your health, emotional and mental health and physical health. These are right time because a lot of people are not traveling. They won't get other time. This is a time when you are at home. You can focus on your overall food and your physical body and everything. So rightly using the positivity to overcome these things, health, and sharpen their saw, whatever skills they have, and not
And
only
resource planning.
and resource planning, and not only the skills. A lot of people are confused. They need to improve some skills. They have to think the future. Like for example, teachers, they're all struggling. They don't know technology. They're trying to learn the technology, and so the futuristic thing they have to understand. The futuristic, they have to change their skills so that whatever future is going to be, they can be leaders at that time, point of time.
See, Naveen,
Yeah.
you raised some valid points. Now, I feel that this massive phased disruption is going to undo a lot of professionals by the end of this corona time,
Yes.
whether it's going to be 6 months more or 12 months more.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses will become irrelevant. A
Correct.
lot of skills become irrelevant.
Yes.
And a lot of mediums of interface with the customers will become irrelevant.
Yeah.
So as you rightly said, if you're not prepared for future, then you might, even after opening up of the complete economy, and even after COVID vaccination or or otherwise immunity, then you would stand completely
Unskilled.
completely exposed,
Yeah.
exposed and unskilled, because the skills which you might need to have after this phase
Yeah.
might be different from the skills which you already have.
Correct.
So you need to understand the future is very uncertain. I can give you many examples, but
Yeah.
I'll give you education. Now,
Yeah.
education is going to transform like no other area after this phase of Corona. And many teachers will lose their jobs. Many teachers will be relegated as ineligible, unqualified, unskilled individuals uh, because there's only need for so many.
Right.
I foresee a lot of investments into schools will go wasted. A lot of investment into infrastructure in terms of higher education and school education uh, will stand completely exposed without any revenues. So there is sectoral disruption which is happening, and all the disruption is not bad,
Yeah.
and some disruption is good.
Good.
It
Yeah.
is going to build more efficiencies. It's going to build more sharpness into the system delivery, and it's going to build more revenues for those individuals who can transform themselves digitally or otherwise to ensure that they fit into the new models once the corona thing is over.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Sagar, for the very, very valid points. These 3 points will put a lot of, if really, if people can focus on these 3 points, the tips what you have given.
Nadim, thank you very much for having me, but I'll just leave you with two major
Yeah,
thoughts. One, the tough times never last, tough people do.
yeah,
So stay tough. The second, there is the most powerful phrase in the world, under quotes, this too shall pass.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time, and thank you so much. And all the
Bye.
best.